it's an education, right? That's what it is.
Mhm.
It's an education.
Mhm.
Um, it's an education in how systems work. It's an education in how people are in human psychology. It's an education in law and what the laws and the rules are.
Mhm.
Um,
Hard.
it's difficult when when you realize that courts courts don't really require any evidence. I mean, the idea that courts will help you get to the truth is just ridiculous. I've always said it was ridiculous, and I never believed they worked, and they don't. They don't work at all, right?
Mhm.
How it works is one side says something, and then the other side says something, and one side says, and there's never any higher level of proof that's brought to the table. You know, there's never any evidence requested. The no judge in this case. I've had three like judges, which they call sheriffs here. I've had three judges, and no judge has ever asked to see any evidence of anything.
Mhm.
They listen to side one, they listen to side two, and then
Mhm.
they make a decision based on what they hear or what they think is the best argument. And my lawyer told me, he said it's not logical. He said there's no logic in it. He said that the results of court depend upon how the judge feels on the day. That's what my lawyer said.
Mhm.
The result, he said, doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter really how you present things. He says what matters is how the judge feels on the day.
Mhm. Oh.
Because there have been these, like any lawyer will tell you, and I've known this for years. Any lawyer will tell you that judges are happy in the morning
Mhm.
and unhappy in the afternoon. So that the most fair and good decisions happen in the morning, and the most unfair decisions happen in the afternoon. And this is well known. It's about people who are. It's all about people who want to control people. It's about people who want to rule people's lives and tell them what to do and make decisions. I mean, who wants to tell other people how to live their lives? I mean, I've got my opinion about what is good or bad, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to force anybody to do what I think is right. I've got my opinion. Yeah. Um, so who wants to do that? Who wants to tell people what is the right thing to do? I guess it has good principles in theory, but the principle of judges. You know that you know where it comes from. It's biblical.
Mhm.
Okay, the first five books of the Old Testament were the books written by Moses
Mhm.
about basically the laws of God and how to
Mhm.
live correctly.
Mhm.
Then you've got, I'm going to go by memory here, I might get this wrong. Then you've got the book of Joshua, and then I think after that is the book of Judges. It might not have that 100% correct, but so the first five books are the laws of Moses, basically.
Mhm.
Then you've got Joshua, who came as the prophet after Moses. Then you've got the judges. Now, the judges were the people who studied the laws of Moses and were given power and authority to make decisions in society. And so, if you really want to understand what a judge should do, you need to go back to the book of Judges and understand what a judge was, and then understand which laws of Moses they were following. Now, that's a little bit tricky or complicated because the Old Testament is very brutal. You know, the Old Testament says, if you go in the temple on the wrong day, then you must be killed. You know, right?
Ah.
It's pretty brutal. I don't think it says in the temple, but it's like if anyone approaches your tabernacle and kill them, right?
Mhm.
They must be put to death, and
Mhm.
um, and that's obviously not the right way to behave, to be honest,
Mhm.
in my opinion. Um, so we should be slightly more um, patient and understanding than just doing that. But that's the origin of being a judge. But how many judges? If you're so the origin of being a judge is an ancient part of the Jewish religion. It's a pre-Christian Christianity, right? Um, how many judges are Christians today, right? Well, exactly, right? I mean, so you can't really be a judge in that sense in a Western Christian society if you're not Christian, because then you don't have an understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, because you should be doing God's work. That's the whole point, to do God's
Mhm.
work. That's what a judge should do. And a lot of judges are A, openly not Christian, or B, they're fake Christians or false Christians.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, everyone says they're a Christian,
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
go to church, but
Yeah.
it's church is a good place to do business and to meet people and
Mhm.
etc. etc. Right? Um,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
it's a it, it's
Mhm.
it's little more than that. So you can't really have a proper judge in the true sense if they're not aware of the ancient context of where we get a principle of justice and just laws and natural laws, um, where there was clearly an understanding, as in common law, there was clearly an understanding that you can't have one set of rules for everybody. You
Mhm.
can't have one set of rules for everybody
Mhm.
because each situation has a difference within
Mhm.
it. Yeah. Um, no, no two problems are exactly the same. They can be similar, but they're not exactly the same. There are many, many different reasons why somebody might kill somebody, unfortunately, right?
Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
can't
Mhm.
really say that there's one rule that applies to everybody. No, it started that way because Moses tried to codify some kind of law for his people, and he started with that principle that there are these laws that should be followed. Um,
Mhm.
and yet there is still flexibility within that. There is still understanding of nature and what brings goodness and
Mhm.
prosperity to society,
Mhm.
which is understanding a lot of things, right? You, you, so judges have a great responsibility, and they have a very key place within society.
Mhm.
Yet, here's something I said about the police years ago. I said, if you're in the mafia, what you want to do is you want somebody in your family to join the police force, right?
Mhm.
You want somebody on the inside who can help you. Now, this is not this is not amazingly new information. Right? People have known this for
Mhm.
thousands of years. Okay,
Ah.
right? And, over a generation, you get your people on the inside and you control it. So that's what happens there. That's what happens in schools and educations, the right places and the right schools, and parents pay a lot of money to get their
Mm.
children in the right courses and getting the right qualifications so that they
Mm.
can become important, influential people within society, lawyers and judges
Mm.
being part of that group. Um, and the idea that intelligent, the idea that these communities are full of intelligent people is slightly wrong, because really intelligent people are they don't want to go there. They don't want that
Mhm.
responsibility. Because what if you make a mistake? What if you do something wrong? I mean, it's fine to talk with people about things and have opinions and share them, but to order, which is what happens, to order that people do certain things, to order that this person goes to prison or that this person pays money to somebody else. I mean,
Mm.
that's serious, right? That can bankrupt people. That can ruin someone's life, and you can make a mistake because lawyers are
Mhm.
very good with the law. They can manipulate the law. That's if you don't get that from the story of Jesus, right? Who was
Mm.
it? Who was it that persecuted
Mm.
Jesus? It was the Pharisees, the lawmakers, the religious people.
Mhm.
The Jews rejected Jesus, right? And not only did they reject him, they persecuted him
Mm.
because he wasn't who they expected him to be. So they crucified him. The crucifixion of an innocent man. And that was a warning down throughout history that this will happen to everybody if we are not careful. We will all be crucified
Mm. Mm.
if we don't take care to
Mm.
understand and follow the laws correctly. And I have
Mm.
my opinion about what is right, and I suggest to a lot of people what I think is good for them, but it's up to them to decide for themselves if that is good or not. Um, I never dictate to people. I never make
Mm.
rules for people to tell them what to do. Um, but I am subject to everybody else's dictate and everybody else's rule because I have an opinion.
Mm.
And the amount of things that appear in court that are not true is unbelievable. I mean, it's and if it happens to me, you can understand that it's happening to everybody, right?
Mm. Yes.
Across the whole system.
Mm.
There's an attempt to that doesn't there's no interest in what is true. There's no interest in what is balanced. Um, it it's about money, as I said earlier. It really is for most people, not all, but for most people, about money. It's and the sad thing is the money doesn't make them happier.
Mhm.
Um, I've had money to spend and no money to spend. Um, I would not say that in either situation I was happier. I don't think that money. changed that. I think it's about how you think,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can you can have £20 and you can with your £20 you can buy a book, or you can buy a bottle of wine, or you can give the money to charity, or you can give the money to a church, or you can give the money to your family, or you can put it in a bank, or you can invest it in something. I mean, who's to say what is right, right? And who's to say what will lead to success?